Alright. Yes, I hit record. We are putting some earth in a bowl. Tree bark. That's not it. It's flowers. Okay, that's gonna have to work. Stay up there. That's not it. Alright, so we got our earth. We got our crystal. Okay, we got our candle. Got our candle, we got our glass jar with the earth in it, and the crystal.
So, light the candle and say this.
Light the candle.
Say this softly while you light the candle.
Okay. I seek in the worlds unknown to men that which is of the first time. Open the path through fire. Through earth, through stone, into mind, into blood, and into bone. I seek to know you as I learn the ways of the ancients. Come forth, allow me entry into the mind of Themis. I seek to know, I seek to see, I seek to hear, I seek to understand. Open the gates through the mind of Themis, that I might know you, and we may speak.
Stare at the stare at the crystal. Put your hands on either side of it, and relax your mind, and allow the energy just to free flow. Did you hear anything?
No, but I've seen a lot.
What'd you say?
Timeline. Events. Clips of just different random events, but of different times. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. You can put out the candle.
It was as if, like when I died, I was just there, floating, like there was no gravity, okay? And it was like an energy. Like we didn't have this flesh suit, right? As if I was going through like a wormhole, but it wasn't a wormhole, it was kind of like just a bunch of clouds, like whiteness, fluffy cottonness type stuff. And then I came out of that and into like this grand view and flames just everywhere. And I'm thinking, why am I not burning? Like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden it was like energy doesn't burn. Energy is, you know what I mean? It was like, boom. I was sitting there thinking, why am I not burning? And it was like, boom, answer right there. And it's like, okay, so as I went on, I stepped through this room off this balcony, and it was just like, I got certain stacks of timelines right in a row of events, things that were going on, and then as if I just like was done. Gone. Like, I'm back. Hello. Like, that's exactly what that whole thing was about. Like, that's the only way I can put it.
Yes.
It's very interesting. It was very, very interesting.
That is what it means to pull through time. That was that wormhole I was trying to describe you earlier.
Okay, then that would explain the cut in times. Okay, alright. That explains it. Got it.
Themis rules natural law, the occurrences that occur in progression in natural order. You saw the natural order.
Right.
To see the natural order means you can change the natural order.
Okay. Quite interesting.
So on the surface, I might seem like, hey, yes, you obey natural law. Not even a little bit, motherfucker. Not even a little bit.
Right?
If you understand what Themis does, and this energy of nature, right? In the same way that you would call Shamash the sun, right? So if you're going to call upon Shamash, the great gate of the sun, it's just the solar energy in your hand, right? Well, right. Themis is the natural order of things.
Okay. Of law and justice. Yeah, I read
the natural progression has nothing to do with humanity whatsoever.
Yeah, because I read up on her. There's Themis, and then there's her sister, who is Nemesis, right?
Yeah, she's a bitch.
Yeah, I read up on those. That was back when I was doing the Egyptian gods, Thoth, Osiris, Ra, Horus, Nephthut, all them, Miat, all them. Tiamat, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That took me 6 months just going through the Egyptian gods and studying the gods and what they did and how they acted, you know what I mean? Like, that had a lot to do with me coming out of the Bible. Like, once I knew why they were writing hieroglyphics down on the wall, what they were trying to tell people through natural law, through hermetics, you know what I mean? These are prophecies of what could occur, and listen to this, which is part of the Book of the Dead, you know what I mean? Like, this too, right. It's just fascinating. Like, when you, that, like I said, that's what got me into looking into astrology and biochemistry and physics and stuff like that. Once I knew all that, and I, got a pretty good understanding of what each one was and how it worked, that's when I ran into that Santos Bonacci, and I was like, syncretism. okay, and that threw me into, oh, well, that's just a timeline of the Bible, Jesus' story, but really it's about astrology. That makes a lot more sense than the little Bible-fed stories you're trying to feed me about some guy going around healing people and being son of daddy, and you know what I mean? Like, this
Right.
makes a lot more sense, especially now that I know biochemistry, and I know astrology, and I know physics, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, and that's when me and King Solomon became good old friends, and I started to read his writings.
Yeah, King Solomon was good. I'd like to get those demons he had. I'd like to make friends with them again.
It just fascinated me that nobody ever, like, I didn't hear about that till I came out of Christianity. Even Judaism. I didn't find out until after I came out of Judaism that King Solomon had 300 demons build this god's temple, like, with a ring. You know what I mean? Like, but if he was favored by this god, and yet he was talking to demons, and he had demons working for him, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't paint the picture you guys put in the Bible at all. I think, you know what I mean? You tell them not to talk to them things. You know what I mean?
The Wisdom of Solomon is one of the most referenced books for my friend Anne. In Santeria, similar kind of ways to getting crowned. You get crowned with the Orisha. You get crowned with the gods, right?
Right.
Her moniker is El.
El Elyon, El Shaddai, El Yireh. Okay, El. Okay. Aleph Tav, that's where the Hebrew Aleph Tav comes from the El. Who is an original deity. El is an original deity in the pantheon, or in the lineup of the Hebrew theology.
Right, and the bloodline's kept alive through practices of Santeria. And the practices of being able to anchor that consciousness into the priests and the bodies and the embodiments of those individuals accordingly.
Right.
And that's exactly what Anne is. She's my Hindu friend.
Okay. You do voodoo, I do voodoo.
But she references the Book of Solomon whenever she has to do bibliomancy. She'll put the pages of that section up, and then she'll pray to those pages to give her the wisdom of Solomon to answer the question. She makes this really great Solomon's Wisdom oil that you can use to enhance your psychic sight that she makes. I love it. I've used it a few times. What's going on?
Oh, nothing. I'm here alone, but yeah, I heard something.
Good. What'd you hear? What words?
I don't know what it was. It was a muffled voice.
Ha! Yes!
That's why I turned around to make sure it wasn't the cat, because the cat will come in and talk to me. Like, literally.
It'll be behind your head. Like, it's almost like whispering there, but it's not quite.
Yeah.
Close your eyes and meditate for a minute. Put your hands on each side of that crystal.
Okay.
Wow.
It just sounded like there was something right here. When I opened my eyes, there wasn't nothing. But it sounded like, almost like a moth, kind of. Like, you know how a moth flaps its wings? It's kind of what it sounded like. It's kind of weird. That's why I open my eyes and look like. When you meditate, let me explain this for the people on camera. When you meditate, you don't just sit there and think about yourself like the monks teach you to do. Like, yes, that's good. But when you meditate, you should be using all of your other senses. Your hearing, your feeling, the energy of that's surrounding you. Okay, that feeling that. So with that coupled with the hearing around you, take that in and process that in a whole new way, not the seeing way. Everybody's so prone to see. They don't believe it unless they see it. You know what I mean? You got to get yourself out of that. You got to get out of that. You got to get into a mental state where you can start using the other senses that the higher powers have given you. Because when you get your pineal gland working and you get that milk and honey flowing, your touch and your hearing and everything is enhanced, and you can start feeling the little butterflies and there's nothing here. You can start hearing, the littlest bit of thing like nature. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, I haven't seen my eagle all day, and then when I sat down to do my tarot cards, you could hear the eagle afar off. Rah! You know what I mean? Like letting me know, hey, it's here. So these are things that we witches learn to do. We learn to come out of the seeing state and get into the subconscious state and start to learn to feel and hear and use that to process what we're actually experiencing, because that's where you're going to get the meat of the crook. That's where the divine spark meets the road, buddy. And yeah.
Yes. All of that is yes.
Like hermetics, baby, hermetics.
Oh, I mean, that's where do you think I got those seal exercises from? So when you meditate and you're doing those energy works and you're calling upon, it's not so much of a calling upon as it is an internal opening of those energies. So you learn the way that those energies make you feel. So you sit there with the fire energy for about an hour, right? You feel like all your emotions as expressed through fire. You calm fire, you ragey fire, you wrathful fire, you fire, like calm fire, raging fire. Like you work yourself through the different kinds of fire, the different kinds of water, the different kinds of water of air, the water of earth, these kinds of exercises over and over and over again in a meditative state.
Yes, because the difference is, like I said, like I was talking to Gordon earlier, we live in a physical state with things with matter where we can touch it, feel it, see it. You know what I mean? But we are so much more than that, and that's what we like. We, without this vessel, we're an energy. We are that energy. You know what I mean? And it's almost like our ancestors and those are trying to tap into and be like, hey, we're still here. Don't forget about us. You know what I mean? Okay,
so that is part of the hive connection. That is that hive mind blood thing.
Right.
That's not always a good thing.
No, but it works, especially when you're doing divinatory meanings and things like that.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
absolutely. But it's just don't let them control your body in the same way that the Palo people do, or in the same way that the Santo people do.
Right. It can lead to
sorcery gives you the choice.
Right. It can lead to disaster. But the thing is, like, we live on this plane. So when those that are coming into the practice, or those that aren't quite sure that, that it's for them, your sole purpose is to tap into your psyche, more or less, okay? Work on your subconscious. You're going into a totally different realm from physical, seeing. You know what I mean? You're going into the subconscious world, I forget what they call it. I'm kind of stoned right now, but you're going into the next realm. And that is dealing with energy. You can't see energy, right? Like, we can't see energy, right?
Yeah, depending on what it is.
Can you see radio waves, and can you see microwaves, sonic waves?
No.
Right, because that's the energy that surrounds us all the time, right?
Right.
So when you sit down and you meditate, you know, and you tap into, now you've lost seeing. You're no longer worried about that part of your brain functioning. Like, eyes are closed.
Right.
You know? So now you're relying on your other senses that you don't use very often. You take for granted because you breathe every day. So you're not worried about smelling. You know what I mean? You go around and you listen selectively to whatever you want. You don't listen to everything. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so, and feeling, you know, well, you touch different things every day, so you feel. You know what I mean? You take that for granted because you're always touching things. So when you sit down and you meditate and you get into your subconscious mind and you bring everything into synchronicity and you lose the sight that you're so used to, and you transform it and start to learn the hearing and the feeling and the, you know, the smelling of things. Because, like, certain things will happen, especially like if you go into a haunted house or something, you know what I mean? Like, the atmosphere will change drastically. It'll be muggy, a little muggy in there when you go into the prison or whatever to investigate. And then all of a sudden you come across something not so worldly and shit gets cold, man. You know what I mean? Hair starts standing up on the back of your fucking neck and shit. That's the fucking energy that I'm talking about. That you can't see, but you can fucking feel. You can smell. You can, you know what I mean?
That's the energy that I'm trying to get you to define, so you know what that energy happens when you're understand one end.
Right.
When you're doing these internal exercises with the planetary energies, with the elemental energies, with the astrological ones, if you make those part of your daily practice, Mike.
Yes, I know. I deal with them every day. Like, when I go into my temple and I sit there and I go into the mind room and, you know what I mean? Like, I deal with
you're doing that. You're doing it that way. Oh, all right.
I deal with these energies every day. You know what I mean? Like, you're walking through the woods.
Cheater. Cheater. No, I'm talking about that's the difference, though, Mike. That's the difference. What you're doing is a mental exercise. What I'm telling you is a physical fucking thing.
Yes, I know. But I like the mind. I like, you know what I mean? Like, it's new. Like I told Keith, I would stay in training in just the foundation for like a few, just because I enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I fucking enjoy it. Many people don't enjoy the foundation. I fucking enjoy it. Okay, let me learn. But
basic, biggest, best. Let's be some basic bitches. Like,
but you know, I like when you start to understand this energy and how to form it and like what you're expecting when you go into this subconscious level of your being. You know, it's a whole different realm. You lose the everyday sight and shit that comes along with it, and you're now in a totally different realm. One, you're vulnerable because you're not sure what the fuck is around you. You see what I'm saying? Two, you're not used to working with these tools. You're not used to being in one, and you're not used to listening for things that aren't there or for things that may just be there. You're not used to smelling the different scents of things walking by you. You're not used to feeling the energy that's, you know what I mean? These are different senses that you take for granted every day. But when you sit down and you use them properly and you use them in tune with synchronicity of the planets, the herbs, shit gets real, okay? You start to put your hands around a crystal and you start to see timelines. Like, you start to see that, you know what I mean? Like, that is very real shit.
To see, to know, to understand.
Right, exactly. You see what I'm saying? And just like I tell people with the tarot cards, you know, divination isn't bad. Witchcraft isn't bad. It's in how you use it, the intent behind it. Witchcraft could be good. You know, you could have two people that were having hardships or something, you know what I mean? And you know they love each other, but one went out and got possessed by a demon or something, now he's fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Use witchcraft to banish it and rekindle the love that was once there. You know what I mean? Boom. You just did a good job for humanity. At the cost of what? A day and a half maybe of your time? Maybe a little more? You know what I mean? Or somebody may be down and out and, you know, just need a blessing. You go and you take an amulet and you make the conjunctions and do it time.
Are you trying to get me to do client work again, Mike? Is that what you're trying to do?
I'm just saying that if it was not for sorcerers, mages, wizards, druids, people like us that have a will to better humanity with the craft and the knowledge that we have, then we might as well just go back to Jesus this fucking time.
What was that?
Then we might as well just go back to fucking Jesus' time. We are in the age of technology. We are fucking super witches, motherfuckers. Like, come on now. Stop being all, you can do a quiet church mouse. Get the fuck up. Grab your goddamn cloak. Grab your staff. Grab your little funny fucking hat. And get the fuck out the door. It's time to do some fucking work.
Are you telling me to go do work? What? What's the shit? What are you telling me to do? What do I have to do? What job?
Wait. What did the card just say earlier? Well, I think like an hour ago. What was the card? What was the number?
The most recent one?
The one,
9.
the one we just talked about, like when we started this. Mine was rebirth. Mine was 1. Or no. Yeah, no.
Okay.
Mine was beginnings. Mine was new beginnings. It was 1. What was yours?
The one that when you were doing your court case reading, I pulled another one just to see where things were standing. Your bodily intuition is a form of wisdom. You have a spiritual connection to the cosmic Christ consciousness, the universal sacred heart seeking to awaken itself in humanity. Your divine life purpose involves assuming the role of leader, guide, healer, and earth warrior for love on this planet in your unique way.
Oh, wait a minute. What was I saying? Huh?
The ancient bird of the Andes, once flying alongside saber-toothed tigers, is the largest flying bird in the world and the oldest species on Earth. Oh, God, Lord.
And so the outcome of the conclusion of this conversation ends with what's in the book? What's the book say? What's the book say? Because yesterday the word wanted to be written.
Your destiny is now held in the guiding hand of a great spiritual master. So are you my senpai, Mike? Did you just become my senpai? How did this become? Like, when did that happen?
It's magic. It's magic.
You understand, like, isn't that a good spell? Aren't you glad you did that spell? Aren't you happy you listened to me?
I am. See what happens when you listen? I think I've been. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, this is a lot of, like, you finally see the world. You finally you're finally putting words to the understanding, like, through form.
Right. I forget what I was gonna say. I don't know. Something. I'm staring.
Yeah, but you're a one on it. It's a But yes, motherfucker, yes. That is exactly right. That is exactly right. Like, yes.
And that's what I'm talking about.